Yes, indeed. It is me. Good evening, everyone, on this Thursday evening, first Thursday evening in October. Rob Weller coming to you from the Sunset Gower Studios here in the middle of Hollywood on this beautiful Thursday night. And tonight we are going to talk about the new shows. Have you been checking out the new shows on the networks, on the broadcast networks? I think there's some good ones. I think they may have actually awakened from their deep slumber. And hi, Bob. Bob from The Bob Show. I hope you listen every weekday morning here on UBN Radio. Bob, who is our superstar here at the network. They don't even see me. No, they don't even see you. He's really one of the better-looking guys I think we've ever met. Now, look, I've got a little alfalfa cowlick going on here today. Hey, say, Andy.
Hi, Rob.
You got to be on your best behavior today.
Why?
We have a reporter from Rolling Stone here is doing a little background.
Where?
Sitting right here, next to me.
Is that Rob Latin?
Yeah. Please, for God's sakes, make me
understand
look
Rob
good
English.
tonight. For once in your life. Hi, kids. How are you?
Great.
Have you guys been watching any of the new shows so far on the broadcast network?
I'm watching one as we speak. It's called The Dodger Game.
Hey, great.
It's the most dramatic show I've watched in years.
How are the Dodgers doing? Andy is the biggest L.A. Dodgers fan, and for those of you around the world who don't know,
The Dodgers are a baseball team.
they are a baseball team, which is the American pastime. And say, have you been watching any? Wait a minute. Wait just a darn minute.
A new do?
Say, Rose.
Oh, hi.
What is it? Que pasa, El Hera?
It's her fall do.
It is. I changed it up, and I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but my hair's kind of pink now. So, really exciting.
Wait. I thought pink hair went out in 1990.
It came back briefly. It may be out now. I don't know. I don't play by those rules.
Oh, you don't. You run by your own rules. You are your own rules.
She marches to the beat of a different colorist.
Yeah. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, well, not a little bit. Our show is devoted this evening to
Full hour.
the new shows because it's important stuff. The networks, the broadcast networks have been floundering the last few years. NBC has really been sucking hind wind. They need a reboot. And ABC's been doing well. CBS has been knocking it out of the ballpark. Have they been able to recapture some momentum away from the cable networks? So let's talk about that. Andy, before I introduce our guest tonight, have you been following any of the ratings news on this?
Yeah, it's actually a good news story across the board. Just when we thought the broadcast networks were dead and done, and cable and Netflix and all that was where it's at, you hear that sort of large sigh of relief across the valley into Hollywood?
Yeah, well, which is where most of the studios are located. They're right over by our house in
Studio City.
Thank you.
Anyway, the major networks have managed to lure more than 10 million viewers to the premiere last week, all the new series, and it's huge. I can't remember the number, but I believe last year, of all the new primetime shows, the broadcast networks, one survived. This year we've got a bunch of hits.
What was it, like Revolution or something? Or
I'm trying to remember the one that survived last year. I don't even remember what it was.
Huh.
But this year it's different. We've got a bunch of hits. At least 4 of the new shows managed to get into the top 20. Mm-hmm. That's pretty big. Oh, it was Vegas.
Vegas survived last year?
And then got canceled. CBS's The Crazy Ones, NBC's The Blacklist, ABC's Marvel series, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're all in the top 20 last week.
Yeah.
And what was also interesting was they're now able to track DVRs and on-demand, and they're finding literally millions more viewers every week.
Well, this is a very interesting fact because, you know, how do you watch television? You don't even watch it on television.
Yeah, I've given up television, but when I was watching television, I would often pre-record things and then watch them later.
Yeah.
And now that they are able to get that data, I'm sure that's huge.
Well, and we'll get more into this with David Friedman, our guest, and Leah Aldridge. I'll introduce them in just a second. But and pardon me, I'm a little congested tonight.
Was that from your trip up to the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, that's right. It was raining up there. I
What
have
a surprise.
My God,
Rain,
I
Seattle.
have moss and mold in my throat. One day in Seattle, that's what happens. The CBS still seems to be leading the charge ratings-wise, from what I've been able to ascertain. Checking out the numbers today. NCIS. I was just looking at Tuesday night's numbers. NCIS 12 with a 20 share, which is big. NCIS LA with a 9. Persons of Interest 7.9. And then the other networks are doing 8.8s or 3.7s or whatever, but they're happy because all ships seem to be rising with the tide.
And the other thing that's happening simultaneously is a lot of these new shows are getting massive hits on Facebook. And so Variety started tracking it with Facebook. And it turns out the shows that are getting the most hits among the new series are number 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Sleepy Hollow, the crazy ones, the Blacklist. That's top, and that coincides with ratings as well.
What they're finding, from what I was able to read, is that they give you the premiere night numbers, and then they watch the DVR stuff for about 3 days after that.
Right.
And those are accumulating up, especially with some of the shows that you mentioned right there.
And what's happening is networks are very quick to pull the trigger. If a show didn't click the first week, second week.
Yeah.
And now with DVRs, they're giving it a little more
Well,
chance.
I bet you David and Leah will be able to tell us a
least
couple
David
that are
will.
on the diving board right now getting ready for a quick keel haul. Because, look, somebody was on, who was on with us and said that there were like 200 pilots.
Oh,
Was that Bob Heath?
It was Bob Heath. There was
Yeah.
1,000 shows suggested. 200 of them went to pilot.
Out of those, a quarter of them.
Yeah,
maybe.
25 of them made it to some sort of a situation where. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about this with people who study this on a.
Who actually know what they're talking about? What?
You mean you don't? I thought that.
I resemble that remark.
Sorry, you guys, but
Well, I thought that they say rose hair would give you now new superpowers.
I just know about everything now. I don't even have to study.
You're a millennial. You think you know about everything, and you always have.
Are people from outer space talking to you now? Is that like wearing aluminum foil on your head?
Don't pick on her like that.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
Back with us tonight as our guest, David. How are you? This is David Friedman, who is the showrunner on Just Seen It on PBS, which goes out to over 200 PBS stations every week, and it is a great movie reviewing show. Nice to see you again, good sir. And next to David is there you go.
Yeah. Can we hear you now?
Can you hear
Hi,
me?
David.
There we go.
Hi,
Hi,
David.
There you go. Right away, I just want to say I love your hair.
Thank you.
It's fabulous.
Oh, you
Very
kiss up.
I'm such a kiss up.
It's guys like you that make me look
know,
bad
I know.
on camera, Friedman.
Okay.
And of course, next to David is Leah Aldridge, who is has a PhD in film studies at USC.
She's currently wearing her invisibility cloak.
Yes, she's got a.
Is she on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is she one of the Marvel superheroes?
Yes, she
The
is.
invisible TV critic.
She's on her way. She'll be here shortly. Traffic horrible in Hollywood, as we always expect.
Hey, I got to tell you, I had to go from Studio City.
Oh, yeah. Where's that?
Studio City. I went to Studio City to Beverly Hills for a coffee date meeting the other morning. It's what would you say, 7 miles?
Yeah, it takes normally 20 minutes.
Yeah, maybe so. 1 hour and 35
Oh,
minutes.
Lord.
It's bad.
What time of day was it?
It was
This is-
at. I left at 8 in the morning. I got there at 9:35.
I hear the theme
Rush
music
hour.
for the Californians.
Yes.
If you want to come to Hollywood,
I took Ventura.
don't bring a frickin' car.
No.
You can come. Amber Hannon, who shoots our video and does our editing, the incredible Amber Hannon, who is also our CEO and our chief photography marketing.
She's Carlos in L.A. It's impressive.
She is Carlos in L.A. Amber walks here from Burbank
Wow.
It's
every
faster-
week and then
faster
walks
than the
back.
subway.
That's why she's so skinny.
She is. We never let her on camera, though. No one knows what she looks like. David, thank you for coming back. We had you on a few weeks ago. We had a really good, lively discussion
About movies.
about movies.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about television. What's your sense of what's happened so far this year with the networks?
Okay, my sense is that quality is what's driving everything right now. And you have the cable companies like HBO, Showtime, and they create quality shows and they get the viewers. So the networks are saying,
Yeah.
maybe we should start creating true quality shows that have a filmic standard to them, which a lot of the shows that are doing very well have.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. And that's what I want to talk about tonight is shows of amazing quality. And I literally can jump around to 5 or 6 of them right away. But let's start off with the Blacklist.
Well, I'm glad you want to start with the Blacklist. This is on NBC.
That's correct.
Interesting premise. Andy and I both watched it the first night. I just sort of said, "Well, I've seen it promoted. Let's check it out."
Smart, really smart. And Spader, very cool.
Well,
Yeah,
Always cool.
always cool, but especially
one?
especially
who's
cool.
it? Who is it starring?
Okay, it stars James Spader. Sorry.
Whoops, are you okay?
Yeah. Just
Oh no, there's the
It's someone's phone.
Oh, okay, phone.
Yes.
I'm putting it away.
Just turn it off.
Great. Throw it in the pink dye
Millennials and their
can over there.
phones,
Right.
you know?
Put it in there with the rest of your pink hair.
Okay.
Okay.
James Spader, who
Right.
has been terrifically successful on things like Boston Legal. and-
Absolutely. And even a wonderful little role in Seinfeld. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah.
the one episode in Seinfeld where he was really hilarious. But I'm
Actually,
dating myself
I
a
sat
little bit.
next to him when we were trying to both get our kids into preschool.
Did you?
Yes, at the Oakwood School. He sat right next to me, and I hated him because he asked all the questions. And you know what? He was just like James Spader.
Well,
You know, that sort of
appropriately
that
so.
cocky, sort of effete, erudite sort of. Well, if my daughter goes here,
Guess which?
for example,
Guess which parent did the same thing at our high school
what?
Ooh.
during Parent Teacher Day?
Not James Spader.
Alex Trebek.
Oh,
Every question.
But-
none of the all the parents were quiet. It was like, let's get through the Alex Trebek.
right.
That's great.
It was classic.
Very classic.
Never put your kid in school with a star. Okay, so
No.
James Spader.
Anyway, we
James
digress.
Spader plays Raymond Red Reddington, who is a rogue CIA agent who comes back in from the cold. And there's this wonderful opening sequence at the start of the pilot where he pretty much just shows up at the entrance to the CIA,
Yeah.
right? You guys have all seen it.
Yep.
And he just puts down his bag, takes
Yep.
off his hat, kneels to the ground, and puts his hands behind his puts his hands behind his head like it's like, I'm here for a reason. Don't shoot
Yeah.
me.
Right, and all the lights go off and
Right.
everything.
It's really a wonderful scene, and of course I want to call out Megan Boone, who is the first day on the job CIA agent Elizabeth Keenan. For some reason, Red calls her and says she's the one that I'm going to work with, and she has no idea.
Shades of Hannibal.
Why he is.
What
But we
has
find
Megan
out-
been in before? Is this her breakout role?
This is really her breakout role.
Cool. Okay.
And what's very interesting is that my reviewers, when they watched the show, they said it's a little too much like Hannibal
Right.
Lecter,
Agreed.
right?
Agreed. Absolutely. We're flashing through that the
Well,
whole.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Silence of the Lambs.
The only thing I will
Yeah.
say is that Hannibal Lecter was a flesh-eating bacteria.
Yeah, and this
but
guy
this guy is. But he's the ultimate American traitor.
Yeah.
He is.
Well, we don't know all the bad things
No,
he's
but
done.
That's right. We don't know it.
He
I
is.
know
He
he's a
is.
traitor.
He is veiled in mystery.
Right.
But
And
I mean,
he's
you know,
really
the
great. at that.
solitary confinement and the confronting of the naive female agent first day on the. I mean,
But she's
But they
really
made it work.
good.
She is very good, and that's where, for me, the parallels with Silence of the Lambs ends, because clearly Red isn't a sociopath. He's very smart. They let him out of his box to help out with
Yeah.
things. You know, they don't wheel him in on a cart with a hockey mask on because he's going to bite someone's face
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
So for me, I love this show because the two of them have great chemistry. It's great writing, and it's very beautifully done.
Yeah.
It is
Really well done. I
It is
agree.
a quality
Yeah.
show.
yeah, it is
And
cinematic.
she's really interesting. There's times when she looks older and very mature. There's times when she looks very young. I think she's really hot looking.
Okay.
But so
She's
it's
a
sort of like
hot-looking lady.
she's a hot looking.
She's a hottie.
So the guys are going to like her,
Right.
And then there's also a subplot between she and her husband.
That's right.
He's a mysterious character.
Right, he is. You know, he gets viciously beat up in the opening in the
Tortured,
pilot.
tortured.
Tortured.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm not giving this away because it's, the pilot's already been out. She's cleaning up the blood on the floor afterwards and
Finds a little something.
finds a little something. And then it's not coincidence anymore. You understand, okay, this guy clearly has something going on that she didn't know about as his wife, but Red knew about. So, Blacklist.
The Blacklist on
Blacklist.
NBC.
NBC.
Very good, very successful
yep.
show. I would recommend. Wouldn't we all recommend
Yes,
that you should at
absolutely.
least check it
Two
out?
black thumbs up.
Two-
Right, right.
Two list thumbs up.
Definitely see it. And now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about the crazy ones with
Ah,
Robin
the
Williams and Sarah Michelle
crazy
Gellar.
one. Wow.
I
the
knew there
crazy.
was a little bit of maybe fear about this show going into it. Robin Williams coming back to
Yeah.
the screen.
For
Where
the
is it
first
gonna
time
go?
on TV
Yeah.
since.
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy.
I wanted to see if the youngin knew that.
Oh, no, she doesn't
I-
know anything.
Hey.
She doesn't have any. She still thinks Philco is a television set, and
Tom Kenny was on Mork and Mindy, and he was one of our guests.
he was, and so was Jim Stahl.
Tom Kenny was on.
Oh,
Mork and
maybe
Mindy?
it was Jim Stahl.
It was Jim Stahl.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know
Nice
anything.
try. Yeah,
Nah,
well, look,
I'm throwing in the towel.
people don't come to this show for bona fide research material. That's why we have guys like David
There you
Friedman
go.
on.
Okay.
David is our guest tonight. He's the showrunner on Just Seen It on PBS, and we're waiting for Leah Aldridge to break through the traffic mess
traffic
here
nightmare.
outside.
I love
the
her
Sunset
take
Café.
on the Blacklist so
Yeah.
far.
So
and
yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
she's quietly
yeah.
potent.
That's right.
Subtle,
Okay, let's
subtle.
talk about the crazy ones. Robin Williams.
Well, let's talk about David E. Kelly, who's the showrunner.
Right.
Clearly a real great pedigree here from David E. Kelly, who's the showrunner. You have Robin Williams, you have Sarah Michelle Gellar, and another quality show. A show where there's great chemistry between the two leads, which is so important. You really feel like Sarah Michelle Gellar is the harried daughter that's had to deal with her dad her entire life. You guys have watched the show.
No.
Yes, I have because that's why I'm the host.
There you go. It's
I
your
was
job.
watching-
I seem to
was
go.
watching-
I go the extra mile. here.
Okay.
I
These
was
guys
watching
are-
I was watching another comeback show.
Yeah, what the Dodgers in the eighth inning?
No, Michael J. Fox.
Oh,
We're
okay.
gonna
All right,
talk
that's
about
good.
that.
We'll talk
get to
about that in a
next.
second.
Well, Rob, was it funny? Was the crazy ones funny?
Here was my perception of it, that I thought it was a little over the top, and I thought the acting was a little pushed, and I thought, well, I don't know. But when you got into it, Robin, I thought, really started to add a lot, and I thought it was very watchable. And knowing that David E. Kelly is behind it, this guy's has had a wonderful formula for television. He's been very successful.
But he's mostly done hour dramedies.
Hour-long dramas.
So has he done a sitcom?
Not in a long time.
Yeah,
This is
I was
probably
surprised.
this is his first stab at it, and clearly, if this is going to be his first stab, you want Robin Williams on your show, right? My sense is, and you were being very polite, everything is there but the funny. You
Yeah.
know, it's like Woody Allen once said, I'm sitting there with a stupid smile on my face,
Yeah, right.
waiting to laugh. And for me, the benchmark for me in terms of comedy is Big Bang Theory. I laugh out loud
Oh,
at
my
that
God.
every week. And Modern Family, which has unbelievable setups and callbacks and great comedy.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed watching the show. I'm waiting for it to get funny.
Yeah.
It's Robin Williams.
I think first of all, it had a great lead in the Big Bang Theory, 20 million plus people.
There you go.
And as a result, it had like a 15.
It has a new
number.
lead in this week, I believe.
It may.
Yeah.
The Goldberg. It has a different show. As a
Right.
lead
They
in.
switched it to the Goldbergs.
Yeah. So we'll see how it does tonight.
Well, they did a 3.7 with a 6 share, as opposed to the Big Bang Theory, which had a 20 share.
Yeah.
So, or a 20 with probably a 27 share.
Which is surprising because it's Robin Williams. So you think,
Yeah.
okay, everyone's watching Big Bang. Let's just slide right into the
Right.
crazy ones.
Right.
That's kind of a big turn. The
What happened then as a result with the Michael J. Fox show?
Well, Michael J. Fox was highly promoted by NBC. You
Extremely.
could not
Yeah.
turn across all mediums. They went. NBC has a lot of cable property, and it was there as well. The Today Show was involved.
Right, lots of tie-in. It's in the, it's,
Today
yeah.
it's in the pilot.
Yep.
And it was an interesting concept. He's going to deal with and talk about his Parkinson's.
Right.
And I'm fascinated whether we have someone in the family that has it. So.
And he's
we were
trying to do.
curious.
He's trying to do it in a very
And
straightforward and don't be
we
sympathetic
thought-
to me.
We thought was going to be an honest way, and I'm not saying it's dishonest, but the show to me felt very forced. It felt joke,
Right.
and it was the what's his name? They were doing the Aaron Sorkin thing. They're doing a lot of crosstalk, and but the jokes weren't funny, and there's a lot of sex jokes between. Michael and his wife, about getting it on and all that sort of stuff. And it just
Right.
felt
Here's what I think is one of the endemic problems, and I think the Michael J. Fox show is showing this. At the broadcast networks, there's a different modus operandi in thinking in terms of notes and how a show is put forth, as opposed to some of the cable stuff. Mad Men, Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, all these Breaking Bad. They broke the mold. And they took more of a cinematic approach and then serialized it.
Right.
Where at the broadcast networks, there's still we got to get this episode in, and we need, set up, joke, set up, joke. Every third line needs to have some sort of a reaction to it. I think they have a hard time breaking out of that because that's what they've done for so
but
long.
it works on Big Bang. It works on 2.5 Men. It works. It
Right.
used to work on The Office.
And they're saying that. They say that every day. Hey, it works on Big Bang. It's working on 2.5 Men. It's working on Modern Family. It's got to be able to work on this new show.
And I would have to agree with you that it really feels forced. The jokes feel forced, but the biggest issue for me is they don't quite know how to handle the Parkinson's issue. You know, Michael makes fun of it because he can, and his wife kind of jokes about it because she can. He's, you know, she's his wife.
Right.
And I actually, his wife is played, Annie Henry is played by Betsy Brandt, and I really like her. I think they've got
From Breaking Bad?
from Breaking Bad, and they've got great chemistry, but frankly, they just don't know how to handle that. It's such a switch in tone.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
I was.
All right, let's take a little break. When we come back, I want to talk about Sleepy Hollow, which seems to be doing well on Fox, and a bunch of others. We're talking to David Friedman about the new shows. Let us know how you feel. This is Rob Weller. You're listening to Hollywood Headliners. Stay with us. And welcome back to Hollywood Headliners. How's my hair look? I just took my headsets off. Is it perfect?
Fabulous.
It's
But it's not as
fabulous.
pink as.
No.
As who? Oh, as her.
Can't
Yes,
all
we're
be.
celebrating Say Rose's new hairstyle tonight. It's really, really exciting. We're here with David Friedman.
Are you
as
going
our
topless
guest.
for the rest of I don't know if I can deal with this.
It's very unsettling.
It's just, okay, if you are, I am.
I'm putting them back
Oh, wait a
on.
minute.
No. You got to put them back on. It's just that we've got this reporter from Rolling Stone listening to the show tonight in the studio, and I wanted her to hear what it sounds like. You can't hear a frickin' thing unless you have a frickin' headset on.
Frickin'.
Frickin'.
Wow.
Frackin'.
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 Which is better than twerking.
That's right.
Okay, this
Well-
is David Friedman is our guest tonight, who is the showrunner for Just Seen It on PBS. That's a great show. You're in your third year?
We're in our third season.
Third
I wish
season.
we were in our third year. We're in our third season. We just had Washington, D.C. add us, as well as the great state of Pennsylvania.
That's great.
So we're looking forward to have them enjoy our show. And we are now on 232 channels, public television channels, 103 markets, 38 states, 60%. And we are the only half-hour movie and TV show review show on TV.
And
We're
have
the
you been
only
affected
ones.
by sequestration or the government shutdown? in any
Oh,
way,
it's
shape, or
just been awful. I don't.
Maybe
it's
that's where
just-
Leah is. She couldn't,
Yeah,
right. Leah
she's
couldn't
not
be here.
coming to work.
not coming to work.
Leah Aldridge is also
She's
our
doing her
guest.
own shutdown.
Yeah. Well, she probably thought the show was tomorrow night.
know.
No, Leah is. She's on the show. In fact, she is your original
reviewer. She's the very first one. She's been on the show since. She's been on the show since.
Yeah.
She has been
Easy for you to say.
on the show since the start, almost 3 years ago. Yes, I took.
There's a tongue twister.
There's a tongue twister.
Does she
Public
does she
dictum.
give you a little money under the table or something? What's the secret?
No,
She's
the
just
secret
good.
is that she's just good. She knows what she's talking about. She's a PhD in film critical studies at USC, and she's very personable. And I wish that she was sitting next to me so that I could talk to her.
I wish I could find some talent to be my sidekick that has those kind of credentials.
We're looking.
I got
Still
them.
looking.
Yeah,
We
we're
got
looking.
them.
I like them.
Him and her.
I like them.
Yeah.
They were,
We give it a fighting chance.
there we go.
Yeah, well.
Let's talk about Ichabod Crane.
David,
shall we?
we are talking about the new fall shows. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, baby.
Now, this is on Fox. I happened to just go, I was just cruising there on the old
Channel surfing.
On the RCA Victor.
the Zenith with my Philco Zenith changer.
I can see why you're looking for a new site,
Watch
baby.
it and was immediately hooked. The guy is an interesting. What's the premise on Sleepy Hollow?
The essential premise is that Ichabod Crane is, I don't want to give away too much, but he's resurrected from a 200-year-old sleep, and resurrected along with him is the Headless Horseman. And essentially, this is a story about Ichabod Crane trying to function in modern day, trying to stop the Headless Horseman, who they imply is one of the, what is it, the apocalypse? One of the,
right. Four apocalyptics.
the four dudes.
signals.
There we go.
Right,
I'm gonna,
right.
I'll make myself seem a little younger. One of the four dudes of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Tony. How are you?
I believe
look, ladies and gentlemen,
Someone's
are
making an entrance.
Leah
Leah's
Aldridge.
here.
Hi, Leah.
All right, now we can start the show.
Now we can start.
Leah, how are you? Just work that mic really close and put those little headsets on.
Okay, I'm fantastic.
Oh,
Thank
you sound
for
good.
asking.
How is traffic?
Traffic is typically Los Angeles.
Yeah. This is why people should not move here. You know, we try to convince people that they could learn. Thank you, Tony. They can learn about show business. They have as much right to come to Hollywood as anyone. but we really wish they wouldn't, especially if they have a car.
Because it just makes things so much
We
worse for
just hate
everybody
it.
else.
It's a little bit like with the people in Seattle, the myth that they tell us about it's always raining up there, when in fact,
Yeah, it was just there last night, and it was raining.
there you
So,
go.
yeah, shut up. What do you know? Leah, great to have you here. David was just extolling your virtues, so we don't even need to introduce you. We've talked a little bit about some of the shows. We're talking about Sleepy Hollow on Fox. Have you had a chance to watch it?
I have.
I'll let her.
what do you
talk,
think?
Discuss.
You know, I am intrigued as one of the new fall hour-long shows on network television. I was pleasantly surprised. I was intrigued. I liked the humor that they mixed in with all of the kind of mystery elements. I think that they did a really good job, or they do a really good job of blending, 1776 with contemporary concerns.
Right.
The premise I'm having a little difficulty getting with this show. I mean, the dude looks great. He's like a handsome.
He's
Yeah.
eye candy. He's nice.
He's for you chicks.
Tom Meissen.
Ichabod Candy? No.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Is he really an English guy, or is he an American guy from Jersey who's got an English accent?
That I don't know.
I'd like to see a little switcheroo. I'm so
Yeah.
tired of these English
He
guys
is
coming
an
over.
English actor.
Is he really?
He is.
Actor.
Oh, there we go.
He's an
Yeah.
actor.
Well, he's very handsome. He's very good. It's an interesting premise, though, because do they know he's Ichabod Crane from the Washington Irving, Sleepy Hollow legend? And how does he fit into modern day society? And then he's got the sidekick, who's also a total babe. She's really great.
Nicole
but she's
Behari.
Nicole
she's
Behari,
very
who's
good.
Lieutenant Mills.
Yeah.
She's very good. I think that I was a little surprised that no one recognized his name, and so I just went with it. I just went with
he's Ichabod Crane.
the conceit of the show, which is basically that apparently no one has heard of this story,
Yeah.
or him, or
No one
the
under
Horseman.
30.
Right. And the fact that he dresses in 200-year-old garb
Exactly,
is like...
exactly.
Well,
He's
but
just a hipster. Okay?
It's a little bit like Superman, though. Once you buy into the fact that a guy wears tights, he's got a cape, and he can fly, it's like, okay, I get it. Now what's he going to do?
Exactly.
That's a little bit what Icky's doing here with this.
Icky. But Icky's kind of sweet and good looking and charming, and he's really good, I think, with his interaction with Nicole Behari.
Do you like the show?
I do.
Would you
So do
watch
I.
it again?
I am. I'm continuing to watch
All right,
it.
so you're in.
Me too.
David, have you seen it?
Yes, I have, and it's a quality show. Again, I'm going to come back to the theme tonight, and that is, it is a quality show. It is well made. It is very, almost like watching a movie. And I kind of like the Headless Horseman. He picks up a machine gun at one point, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're just getting right into the 21st century stuff going on.
Well,
here,
look, the
so-
fact that you're violently prone. Let's not get into
Yes.
that. What you do in your own time is your
Okay,
business.
okay.
But no, yeah, you're right. It's got a very modern knack to it. It's a clever hybrid, an amalgam of old and new, and it's an interesting premise.
And one thing I want to also point out is that the lead character, Ichabod Crane, he's immediately immersed into the 21st century, and he's just like, okay, I'm just going to deal with it.
Right.
He isn't like, oh, what is this right here?
right,
and,
right.
He figures something. Oh, that's a truck that almost hit me.
Yeah.
He picks it up and goes, okay, now I'm gonna move on. And I really like that about it
Yeah.
because I think otherwise it would get really cliche.
Yeah.
Like it would be a running joke. Like,
Right.
ooh, what's that?
There's not a lot of trivial exposition that they throw in
No.
to bog it down.
No.
And-
just
Have
gets
you
right
seen it
into
yet?
No, but I was going to say that Fox likes it. They gave it a pickup today.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I believe it's
They
the
picked it
first
up.
new series that got a pickup.
And it's an expensive show to make.
Yeah.
It looks very expensive. All the money is right there on the screen.
Absolutely.
But and David has addressed this earlier in the show. Well, you were out over at the Starbucks across the street having a latte. There's a lot of money going. The look of the network shows is getting better. They seem to be putting more on the screen to compete against the cable guys,
Exactly.
which are knocking it out of the park.
They are, cable just came in and just swooped in there
Yeah.
and spent money. You
Yep.
see it on the screen, and network has realized that if we want to win those eyeballs back, we're going to have to shell out a little more dough.
Real quick, what are your favorite cable shows that you watch?
Oh, okay. Let's start with HBO.
Okay, HBO, right?
Okay, so with HBO, we do Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire, love it.
And, oh gosh, is that about it right now?
Yeah.
I have to say,
How about Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones,
Okay.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
I'm an Eastbound and Down kind of fan.
Okay, great.
I'm an Eastbound and Down kind of girl. Kenny Powers. And we'll go ahead and, and I just watch a lot of stuff on HBO, and then we'll go ahead and shift over to AMC.
Yeah.
I, of course, am a Breaking Bad fan.
Breaking Bad.
I shed a tear
Gotcha.
recently.
Yeah.
I am a Walking Dead fan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Anarchy? No Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy, I never quite got into
Yeah.
Sons
Me
of
neither.
Anarchy.
I tried. I tried from the pilot on, just didn't.
I
didn't
kept
click.
thinking of them with all that video. The story this week about the bikers and the SUV.
Range Rover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
just thought of
intense.
Sons of Anarchy. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It hangs on your mind at all times. David, are you pretty much in with what Leah watches? Do you have anything else?
Well, you have to remember I produced Just Seen It, so I have no life.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
the TV that I watch Big Bang Theory, and
Yeah.
I know that I should be doing better than that. No, I watch
No,
a
no,
lot of
that's great.
stuff.
Well,
I watch a lot of stuff, but I am missing Mad Men.
on cable, you want to talk about Masters of Sex?
That's what I want.
That's
Well,
the
maybe
new-
maybe we should get
We're
right
gonna
into
jump,
Masters
okay.
and Sex, which is new. It's
And that's about
Showtime.
Masters and Johnson,
Right.
Yeah.
the psychologist
Right.
couple.
oh, so you know them?
I was a psychology major. I'm in.
Well,
I'm in
I
the
have
know.
I have a question about that show, which I have not had an opportunity to check out yet. Is it really capitalizing on the kind of nostalgic fare that Mad Men?
right?
Exactly.
That's right.
In fact, it's exactly doing that, and that's part of why you watch it and go, "Okay, this is a quality show." Again, it feels a lot like Mad Men. But what I really love about the show is that it really evokes how uncomfortable
Yeah.
people were, even mentioning the S word,
Yeah.
even saying sex.
Showtime. Oh,
Yeah, right.
Showtime, that too.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, we say penis on national television and and you really get a sense immediately you're immersed in this world that people just didn't talk about that and you're like, wow.
I
Really?
thought about Mad Men for maybe 10 seconds,
Right.
and then gone.
It's gone.
because the characters are rich. The story is great.
It can
It's
carry
just
itself.
it's fascinating.
Yep.
It's a fascinating show.
And what's even more fascinating is that Paul Bettany was supposed to star in it, and at the very last second, he dropped out, and Michael Sheen took his place.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Wow.
And I cannot imagine the show
Yeah, true.
with
True that.
anyone else but Michael as Dr. William Masters, and of course Lizzie Kaplan as Virginia Johnson.
Love Lizzie Kaplan.
We love Lizzie Kaplan and
Big
what's-
eyes. That kid's. She's got big,
There you
beautiful
go.
eyes.
She's doing.
Did she play
Is
somebody?
that your Lizzie Kaplan impersonation?
That's her Lizzie Kaplan.
Oh my
impersonation.
God, Leah, you are Lizzie Kaplan.
I look just like her.
Yeah, you do.
A
lot of nudity in this.
Just you
Not
stole
enough,
it right
but-
out of it.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So we don't only have to say penis. Do we get to see
Haven't
penis?
seen that.
Is there full frontal male nudity?
I'm not a member of that club, but
No,
it's
there's
not.
everything but that. It seems
Thank
like
you, Leah.
it seems like they do have limits to their titillation
Perfect
on the
breasts.
show.
A lot
Yes,
of perfect
a
breasts.
lot of perfect breasts. And without getting silly on the show is well written.
This is a highbrow show, so
This
please
is-
keep it at that level.
Right, we're
David.
gonna
Who,
keep-
Masters of Sex or Hollywood Headlines?
Hollywood Headlines.
both.
In
I
fact,
get
we
those two
just won
confused.
we just won a Ling Ling Award in Thailand for our high quality. It's great.
We're not allowed to say Ling Ling.
We're
on the
number
internet.
one in Thailand. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful show. It's like watching a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every episode is like.
Cool.
Is it
going
gonna
to
last?
I certainly hope so. It's
It's
my
smart.
new favorite cable show. It's something for me to watch that I'm like, this is something different. This is something that I want to follow. And
You
they
know-
drop a bombshell at the end of the pilot, and I don't want to give it away, but oh my God.
Is there? And I think this was a problem that Boardwalk Empire had initially. Is there too much nudity in this thing?
No.
No, it never feels right. Well, you've seen it.
well
It never
placed.
feels. It
No.
never feels gratuitous.
Well,
It felt to me. There's a broadcast network comparable to me, and that's The Good Wife. Mm-hmm. You watch that?
yes.
No, I don't.
You don't. You don't want to go. Oh,
No, I
that
don't.
is such a
I
good.
know
Super
it's a
smart.
very-
Super smart writing.
Yeah.
And if it was on cable, I think it'd probably be even better because they go into areas.
Fascinating.
I mean, it's a brilliant show.
The Good Wife has the best first segment
yeah.
ever on television.
It's about 10 or 15 minutes, and then they have the open.
Absolutely, and
But
you
it's
are
just epic.
so
It's just-
your jaw drops by the
Yeah.
time you go to the first commercial break.
Well-
I've been meaning for about 2 or 3 seasons to check that.
You
show.
started
There
the
we
bit,
go.
start
We're
over.
gonna
Start at the
Gonna
beginning.
have
have
to
to watch it, Leah.
binge
We're
binge viewing.
Yeah.
Binge
Yep.
viewing.
It was the Scott brothers. It's Ridley and
We are now
Yeah.
outlawing that phrase, by the way, binge viewing.
Why
Really?
is it outlawed?
Why is
It's just everywhere now.
Everyone
It's
is
like the
saying
word
it now.
the word epic
Right.
all over the place.
I never use Epic, but I don't know.
There was a
Okay.
movie called Epic. You didn't say it?
What?
I've often thought this show is epic.
This show is epic.
The side-
It does
the
seem-
side-
it
the
does seem
sidekicks
interest-
are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
Leah.
ahead, Leah.
It does seem interesting though with the trend towards binge viewing, and I share your
Yeah.
with that term, but it really does seem to be fitting in terms of how people are choosing to watch
Yeah.
I'm
television.
now
these
binge
days.
viewing Larry Sanders Show.
I
Oh,
watched
nice
four.
one.
I watched 4 seasons of
VH1
Breaking
is
Bad
doing it.
in a
and
month.
I'm thrilled.
Holy folks, we're forgetting we're forgetting the one network that is the basis for binge viewing.
PBS?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix,
Here
yeah.
is the entire House of Cards
Right,
all at
true.
once. Here's
Orange
the
is-
entire Orange is the New Black.
Well, but
Go.
wait, no, we were binging. We were doing catch up.
Right.
Okay.
Because the DVR allowed us to do it, and then we
Right.
would go to Netflix, and we
but they created the concept of season in a bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did.
No one's ever done that.
I'd say
It's
they
like, here's your entire season.
they
go for it.
optimized binging
Yeah.
Yeah.
in an epic way.
And
Yeah.
House of Cards was really the first one that really.
Quote me on that.
Okay, House of Cards was really the first show that was like, this is an amazing show with a great cast. It's wonderfully done. And everyone was like, wow, you're really going to release 13 episodes at once? Or 12?
Yeah,
they
and it
did.
worked.
And it worked. Everyone watched them at once.
Yeah, and I heard today. I read something today that Amazon has just picked up one or two more shows now that they're going to do an original production on. So Amazon's getting into this.
Everybody's waiting for Apple.
Netflix, apps.
Apple
We do have to watch the clock because David and Leah.
Just me.
You.
Yeah.
You have to hit a premiere tonight.
Yes, I'm a very important person. I don't know why I'm here.
Well, you are. You're big. You are the epicenter of Hollywood tonight.
There you go. And,
What do you have to go see? What's the screening tonight?
I'm actually going to go see Enough Said because I haven't seen it, and I
Oh.
want to go see Enough Said. And
That's
everyone else did.
Gandolfini's.
Yeah, his last
Yeah.
role.
Oh,
and
wow.
Looks very sweet.
Yeah, and Leah.
You'll enjoy it. It's a very sweet movie.
Have you seen
It's
it, Leah?
Yes,
I
sir.
have.
And would you recommend it?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
This is good. I feel like, rest his soul, Roger Ebert, who we knew. Yes. Carolyn Bennett is here from Rolling Stone. You can kind of see her right there.
Which Rolling Stone magazine is that she's
The one in Orange County.
OC?
Thailand
But
and
it's
Orange County.
just as important to me as the other Rolling Stone out of New York. David, do you have time for one more?
I got time. I'm going to hang out.
What-
Leah's got here. I'm not going to leave Leah.
Okay, what else do you like?
Let's talk. Leah,
How about
let's,
dads?
Well, yeah.
Okay, let's
No,
talk.
no.
about-
How
Let's go
about
for it.
Mom?
Okay.
Has anybody seen Mom?
Anna Faris.
Yeah. Anna
Right,
Faris is-
we're actually going to review that, and we bumped it for Masters of Sex. when we
Okay.
got that.
All right,
So-
forget that. I've seen Mom. It's pretty interesting. It's a little weird. The humor's definitely out there.
Yeah.
They definitely have seen Dads.
So
Yeah,
we've
but,
seen.
But what do you
Dads.
think of Dads? Because it's getting mixed reviews.
Really?
So who's in the cast again?
We've got
Seth Green.
Seth Green,
Giovanni Ribisi.
Giovanni Ribisi. We've got Peter Riegert
And Martin Mull.
And Martin
Oh,
Mull.
interesting.
And I've checked out 2.5 episodes thus far.
Wow,
Two and a half.
2.5.
So you know where we're going with this.
Wait a
one.
minute, two and a half
Okay.
men.
This is John Cryer, and you are listening to Hollywood Headliners with Rob Weller.
I'm sorry. I thought that was a false cue.
Okay.
Go ahead, Leah.
And I kept waiting for spark. I kept waiting for humor. I did not laugh once, unfortunately.
no.
And I love all of those performers.
Are you a humorless person by chance? Or
No, she's
You know,
not.
You seem like a
I
kind of a
shave my
regular woman to me,
legs,
but
I
This show is a disaster, and
Wow.
it's also. I mean, what about the racist
Right, I heard.
jokes?
They, they don't know what to do with their race humor. This is which is odd, given that this is Fox and understanding the origins of Fox, which made a lot of money in its early years around racial humor and
Living
having
Color.
in living
Right.
color. I mean, this was, and clearly things have changed, and so this show feels very by the numbers. It's stale on arrival. The best thing about the show for me,
Really?
the best thing for
The
me about
credits.
this are the opening credits.
oh, really? The opening credits are good.
Yeah.
Opening credits is the best thing about it.
Yeah.
You
You're
think,
gonna say
oh my
that.
God, we're really gonna have some good humor that comes along with fathers and sons, and man, it's just stale on arrival.
It is.
In general, should the broadcast networks be happy, relatively happy, nervous, or totally ready to jump in the wastepaper basket
About the fall
about the new
season?
about the new shows?
I think you know what a lot of things that I've had an opportunity to review for Just Seen It are not my cup of tea. However, I can see how they will find an audience. So, for example, a show like Dad's, it's getting the job done. It's like swinging through the drive-through at McDonald's. It gets the job done. I mean, it's holding a place,
But no nutritional value.
but there's very
None
little.
whatsoever.
By the way, I'm
Whatsoever.
taking everybody to McDonald's right after the
There
show
you go.
tonight.
Thank you, our new sponsor.
Like the
Okay,
fries.
I wish. Okay, so
So,
you're
so I think that there are a lot of shows. I think there are a number of shows that across the spectrum of the networks that are getting the job done.
I agree. I
Okay.
think that the network should be, for the most part, pretty happy with some of the shows that are breaking out. The verdict is still out, but guys, we still have a whole month of pilots to still come out with. Dracula hasn't come out, and
Right.
Almost Human. We haven't talked about Agents of Shield for some reason. Which is
do
like
15 seconds on that real quick.
15 seconds of Agents of Shield. Every geek boy and nerd girl on the planet was waiting for this. It couldn't possibly live up to the hype. it did okay. That was everyone's feeling. If you watched all the flames on the internet, it was okay. And I think the problem is that people were comparing it to the movies.
Right.
There was no way that the show, because it didn't have any of the stars in it, there's no way you could compare the movies other than Agent Coulson. You know, he's the only guy that suddenly...
Who died in the
He
movies?
died in the movie. He died in
It's
the
classic.
Avengers. And just suddenly...
Clark Gregg?
Well, Well, I just assumed that this was a prequel to the film.
No, they brought him back to life.
They just, yeah.
Oh, he says, "Oh, I got shot and then I
Yeah.
got fixed."
Well, because-
They'll fix you like in.
It was all a
RoboCop. You just
dream,
got
like in the
fixed.
shower.
Yeah, right, like-
Well, he's he's an agent. He can make it happen. guys.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of secret things that agents do there at NSA headquarters.
Especially.
And by the way, wouldn't it be great if they were actually listening to this show? Think what it would do to our ratings.
Thank God.
Yeah. Instead of watching Google, they should watch us.
I do think, though, that Josh Whedon is, I'm assuming he's the brainchild behind the show.
Indeed.
And there's a lot of money
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
screen for this
Yeah.
show.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, lots of cool things to look at. Lots of gadgets and a lot of technical babble going on in this show. Again, clearly, I'm not the demographic for this show.
Clearly.
That's okay.
Clearly, I'm not
It's all
the
right. That's
demographic.
I
But
am kind of.
I just have to say, I kept looking and I got bored. I mean, and I don't have ADD, but I got a little bored.
Do me a favor. What's the one show you would recommend for the new fall season?
Super fun night.
Really?
I knew the layer.
What? Really?
Rebel Wilson, super fun night. I'm sorry, it's just I love Rebel Wilson. It's nice to see a show about three girls who aren't fitting the classic
Sex in the City.
sex and we actually commented that on our show that we said, Charlotte would never be friends with any one of the other three people in
Right,
of any one of the
right.
other three friends in sex. She had nothing in common with them. I love Rebel Wilson. I love super fun.
And
night.
Leah's looking at the list. Pick one.
I have to pick one. I
Yeah,
can't
just
pick
one.
two?
Yeah, come on. Number one recommendation from someone who teaches at USC and knows everything.
Uh-oh. My
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
You know what? From the
Rough.
list,
Other than whether they're going to win their next football game.
I'm going to bet.
Don't go there.
Oh, please. Let's
I
not go
dig
there.
their new coach.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just glad that the
Jet
Go,
Clampett.
I'm not
Jet
gonna
Clampett.
say-
just go watch the Dodger game and stay out of this.
5-1
Yeah.
in the
Dodgers.
sixth.
You know what? I think I'm going to bet on Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to
That's a
bet
good
on
bet.
that
Good,
one.
good.
Although I would like to give a shout out to the Michael J. Fox show. I think that this is a show that has a lot of guts. I'm not certain it's going to survive, though. I will say
I
that.
think not.
You're all wrong. I'm John McLaughlin. The Blacklist. Watch the
Blacklist.
Blacklist on
Yeah.
NBC, and then watch Sleepy Hollow on Fox.
John McLaughlin?
What about the crazy ones on CBS? We
I
have
don't know, maybe.
No.
Okay.
I'm
gonna
pulling
skip the
for
crazy
Sarah
ones.
Michelle.
Okay, Sarah Michelle.
I'm a
yeah.
Masters of Sex.
Masters of Sex, actually. For comedy, super fun night, but for dramas,
I
definitely.
believe I
Masters of
majored in
Sex.
that. Oh.
For you.
Guys, I want to thank
didn't
you.
get my master's,
I want to
but-
thank you very much for being with us tonight, David Friedman and Leah Aldridge. Great to have you here with us, Leah. You got to come back. We're going to do a probably a Christmas movie review scenario.
Year-ender?
Yeah,
and
David, you gotta
Oscars,
come
too.
back.
Oscars,
yeah,
yeah.
and Oscars.
Talk about Oscars.
So you got to come back. Have a fun time at the
Screening.
at the screening.
Very
tonight.
important. Very important.
Absolutely, Leah. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having
Really
us.
appreciate it. Come on back and see us again soon.
Absolutely.
All right, you're listening to Hollywood Headliners. I'm Rob Weller. We'll be right back in just a minute with a little wrap-up of today's show. Don't go away. We're live, the Sunset Gower Studios in the middle of Hollywood. Well, it was great having David and Leah with us. Really, great show. Really good show.
Yeah, I feel really informed.
No kidding. That was good
I
stuff.
want to go home and watch TV.
Yeah, you want to watch the Dodgers.
All right.
Where's my
That's
book?
TV.
I need to see Masters of Sex. I love Lizzie Kaplan.
It's so cool.
Hey, this book, I want to get my friend Greg Mang on here. This is the Days of Our Lives Better Living book, and it is out. It's probably backwards now on this camera. Anyway, we're going to have Greg come down. This is Secrets of the Days of Our Lives stars coming up on a future show.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned Lizzie Kaplan.
Right.
What did she play in Mean Girls?
She played Janice.
Oh, Janice who?
Janice Ian.
Oh, Janice Ian. You know, she'll be in a guest.
Janice Ian, the real Janice
The
Ian.
real Janice Ian will be
Society's
child.
Boy,
She
was
has
that
a
big-
new
when she was
children's
16.
book.
Yeah.
The Tiny Mouse
the kid?
Wait a minute,
by
hold that up.
Janice Ian.
Hold it up there so we can
This
see.
is her first kids book. She won a Grammy when she was 17. She won a Grammy last year for Best Spoken Word for her autobiography. And this is her first children's book.
So you've booked her on this on
Yep.
Hollywood Headliners?
Yep.
Wow.
It's coming up.
That's pretty big. Now, what else do we have coming up? If you are into the Mad World, have you ever seen It's a Mad World?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
Classic.
Stanley Kramer did that. Was with all of the great comedians. I would recommend
Stanley Kramer is probably the...
do a Netflix search watch this before we have.
His films were nominated for a total of 85 Academy Awards.
Wow.
He was probably the ultimate liberal.
You know what? I have 2 scripts autographed by him. I should
And
bring
we're going
this
to
down.
have, the reason we're mentioning this
Yeah.
is this year is the centennial of his birth. He died a few years ago. And his widow and daughter will be on the show.
Oh, that's great.
Talking about celebrations around the country.
You know, you got to, if you really want to know this business, you have to understand all aspects of it. You got to go back in time. You got to look at some older things. You got to stay idiomatic. You got to sample these new shows like we talked about tonight. Even if you're not a Fox fan or if you're not an NBC fan, sample these things. Know what's going on right now, so you're up to speed. Idiomatic, as they would say, and also look at some old movies. You've seen some old movies lately. What have you seen that was? You had to watch Jaws.
An old movie, probably Men in Black would be an old movie.
Yeah, well,
per
for
se.
her, it'd be,
I watched Prometheus last night. That's about
That's old.
8
That's
months
a year old. Yeah,
That's a year
really,
old. God, say you're doing such a good job. You've come such a long
Avatar
way
is
on
probably
this show.
vintage, right? Avatar.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really.
Titanic
doing
is really
well.
old.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Wow, I can't believe another week has gone by here on Hollywood Headliners. Good show. Thank you very much. Make sure you check us out on our Hollywood Headliners YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Tell your friends about it. For God's sakes, help us get our ratings up because, it's Andy's Paperboy and my Paperboy won't listen. That's about it. And since we're going to be featured now in some big article, it's really exciting here.
That would be patch.com.
Whatever.
Stoling roll.
Have a great week, everybody. You are as entitled to Hollywood as anyone. If you're going to come out here, though, be prepared. We try to teach you the ins and outs of this business. It ain't easy. It's very tough. But if it were easy, everyone could do it. Maybe you're the next one that's going to be the big star. We'll see you next week on Hollywood Headliners, live from Hollywood and the Sunset Gower Studios. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Weller. Good night, everybody.
Go Dodgers.